Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. I apologize that the video is again a little bit late tonight, but it's always pretty pretty busy here. Not beer, sorry, busy here at the Equity Story office. Um, just having a look at the ASX 200. It's actually not looking too bad. I know we had an ugly day today, and I know I was just looking at the ASX 300. It's generally speaking red and ugly across the board, but we're holding above that sort of short-term happy line. As long as we can sort of hold these levels, hopefully we can continue this trend upwards. Um, Unfortunately, Australia, a lot depends on the banks, and we did today cut the ANZ. The reason being, there's just a lot of negativity in the press today about the banks that possibly they're going to have to raise a little bit of money. Fitch put them on negative watch, and I think the market, there's this undercurrent that everyone's a little bit nervous about the property market, and basically, just have a look at ANZ here a second. Obviously, they're worried about the property market, and if there's an issue there, these banks, and the banks don't have actually much earnings growth. There's not much growth in the banks. They are really a dividend play. So obviously, if there's people like Fitch coming out putting a negative watch on these type of on the Australian banks, it's not going to be very good for sentiment, and I think they're going to get sold down possibly. I'm looking to short term maybe 29.96, but I think it's more likely to come down to these longer term moving averages, maybe around sort of 27.80. Anyways, we're happy. We did all right with those banks. We made a good profit out of the NAB. We didn't lose out of the ANZ, and we'll get in them if the sentiment changes. We'll certainly have a look at them and get back into them. What I was really impressed with today is really sort of negative day. How well the classic weekly buy and sell signals did. That we put them out on Einstein's trending blog, and obviously BHP today hit record yearly highs, and then had a little bit of sold off slightly. It was just slightly ended in the red at the end of the day. Money 3, like we said, we've been talking about it, went through that buy signal beautifully, was as high as 172 and looking very good. And DTL ended up the day up about 1.2%. One stage was up a little bit higher, but again, really performing well. So it just shows how good those weekly buy and sell signals are, and we get a lot of pleasure Equity Story picking these obviously these stocks that have these short-term movements and this trending. What I would like to just have a little talk about today, we put on a new stock as a 3-year growth story, which is KGN, which is Coogan. Now, what I might do, make it a little bit, if you don't know what Coogan is, I'll bring the website over so we can have a decent look at it. This is the third largest online retail sort of website. I think you've got Amazon in Australia is bigger, and eBay is bigger. These guys are number 3, and it's a really, really interesting story. Please go to the website and read up about it. This company just listed recently, and they didn't get off to a great start. I think the market are very, very worried about Amazon, if it's going to be, the one that's going to basically, squash all competition in Australia. We don't believe that's the case at Equity Story. You need to read the report to understand our thought process behind it. This guy's a very, very clever individual. He started this business out of his shed in his garden. He gave up his job, everything. He's a very, very wise cookie, and he's actually very excited about Amazon coming to Australia, where he's going to be selling actually quite a lot of his products through Amazon. It's a good story, Coogan. They've totally outperformed what they said they were going to do in their first year, and I think this could be one of the really interesting stories over the next 2 years. So we've added it as a 3-year growth story. Please go to the website and read up about it. I think this is a fantastic find by our lead analyst, Peter Kobbetts, and certainly, it's a great website. I was having a look at it only a few weeks ago, actually. Looking at TVs, and you can get some great TVs. Here's a curved 55-inch TV at $749, and generally speaking, these prices are sort of $200, $300 cheaper than JB Hi-Fi. So there's no reason that this business hasn't got a huge future. And again, looking at the chart, it's looking obviously very, very good. Had that nice little move up. They did an announcement the other day. Had that nice move up, and it's going on with it. We do suggest try and get not to pay more than sort of $1.65. It most probably will come back to that. But again, please go to the website and have a good read about the story. Listen, that's all I've got to talk about today on Equity Story. We are pleased with some of the performance. Just quickly before you go, CM8 looks very, very good. We like this story. Obviously, all these type of a lot of these micro caps have been sold down really heavily recently. But again, it's good price action on the daily chart for CM8. So without any news, so it looks very, very, very good. As Cassini, Cassini lifting its head above those trend lines is starting to look very good. So possibly those two stocks, there might be some decent news coming out fairly soon. And another stock we haven't put on BUB. We have spoken about it. Potentially it could be an interesting story, but for us at the moment, we're sort of, I suppose, generally speaking, being pretty careful what micro caps we're going to put on at the moment. They've got to be absolutely amazing for us to bowl in there. But again, I think the chart's looking pretty good. I think there is support around this sort of 20 cents level. So if people like this baby food formula story, I think somewhere around now could be an interesting time to get in. The other obviously fantastic story. Unfortunately, we didn't put this one on, but we have talked about it, and there are a lot of Equity Story members in this. CIA, which again had another great day today, ended up at 82 cents. So it's looking very, very good. Anyway, that's all we've got to talk about tonight on Equity Story. I hope you have a good evening, and hopefully you've got a nice pool to swim in, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much, and good night.